3, 2, 1, and the countdown's done, Joe. It's okay, you can now take a photo. And Jaime, let go of your pizza. Pineapple filled only if you can't see us. Sandy's just smiling and giggling, always listening so she can understand everything. This is the team that has your back when everything's whack. Yo, they'll make you laugh, join in the friendship, the community of fun, and learn something cool so you can be the one. Now wash your hands for at least 20 seconds. You filthy animals, filthy animals. It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know? It's the social distancing show. How did you not know? How did you not know?
Good evening. Hello, everyone.
Good evening. Look at this awesome cologne guy that's back on our show today. Thank you so much for being our guest host, as we affectionately call our ghost.
Is that what I love being the pitcher for this show.
I can't stand that term. Trey coined that term back in the Strange Connection show, and I thought it was going to be gone permanently, but
I like it. It's just less words.
I understand that, but I guess it's also why I'm not a big fan of shorthand texting. You know, when you're just
like the K, when you type out a whole message and someone says K.
Technically, I guess so, but I'm thinking more when you shorten the word, like instead of spelling out shouldn't, people just put, I don't know what they put, but I know they put something that I'm just like, I'm ignoring the whole thing.
There's only certain things that I do.
I do admit that for me, it's more punctuation. It's hard because I read recently where Generation Z actually, not only do they not like punctuation, but they actually think that if you do use it, it sounds like you're
boomerish.
Well, no, it sounds like you're abrupt or angry. Like it's to express emotion.
See, and they're silly.
And so what's funny is, I don't know that I can give up the punctuation.
Hi, Debbie.
Also, Mom made it on. Okay, all right. So I just texted her.
First comment of the evening. Thank you for joining us.
Not only first comment, but I just let her know, and I told her to look for the Facebook invite.
Awesome, Dr. Ben. I love that you're growing in a beard.
You do?
I think it looks really good on you.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you.
I approve. If that's all you were waiting on.
Never fail. Sorry, guys.
This has started off as the vacay beard.
It looks good on you. I was about to say something.
Oh, really? Oh, well, thank you very much. And because it could just parlay right on into full-on beard, because I used to grow one every winter, and then it went, kind of gray. Well, not kind of. It went gray on me.
So I think it looks good on you, especially when I see the pictures of you with Natalia when she was younger, and I'm just like, he's goodness. Young.
You posted a picture, and it just one of Natalia kind of just leaning on you. Oh, it's so cute. I love that picture.
That's the one I was talking
endearing.
About.
Yeah, the one. So that was, came up in Facebook memories, right?
Yes.
And the story behind that one was my aunt, who could be a professional photographer. She's amazing, and she took that picture. She takes all of our pictures. She's very gifted and talented at that, and. So that picture was taken before I got on Facebook because I was very, very late arrival, and so that was a memory from my mom that she posted, and then I went ahead and snagged it.
Oh, I love it. That was a great photo.
Well, thank you. I it's one of my favorites, and I know it's one of my mom's as well. So
CPJ says, "Hey, y'all." Colleen says, "Hi, Ben." Hi, Colleen.
That is my aunt. That's another aunt of mine. So my mom has 8 siblings.
Okay. That's a big family.
Yeah,
it is a big family. It is a big family. And they're always quick to come on the show, especially with, or even if they miss it, they'll go back and check it out later from the YouTube.
I love that. Yeah. I love big families, and I love family that supports you. That's favorite. So CPJ says, Dr. Ben has an awesome Leo look. Looks great.
Okay.
So he should stay.
Yeah, he should stick around.
Okay, well, it will, and then here's what I'll do later on when it gets bigger. You guys can let me know if it should keep getting bigger or if we should just keep it
Gotcha. Well, yes, you just post pictures and we'll critique them.
And you can trick, and that is another aunt of mine.
I love it.
These guys are just amazing because, like I said, they had no advance notice at all. They just pop on. My aunt Maureen actually took a picture recently of her. It was my episode on her big screen TV.
Oh, really?
And that was pretty wild to see. They are truly wonderful people, all of them, without exception.
I love that. That's so awesome. Thank you, Supportive Family, for being on here this evening.
Right.
We will try to make it as enjoyable as possible.
We will.
So, Jamie, I have some questions that I brought on the show. Because I know you were going to have some, so I did some homework too.
Go for it.
Just wanted you to know that.
All right.
Oh,
That's exciting.
CPJ said, "Do you all live close?"
Yes. Oh, wait.
No, I think she's
I think
that's
that was
for
for
Dr.
you and
Ben.
your family,
Yeah.
Ben. Sorry.
So yes, relatively close. So I'm from Iowa. I'm from Southeast Iowa, and they are all there. The ones that are on tonight are all in Iowa. They are, in fact, they're all very happily retired.
Awesome.
And so yeah, I'm from Iowa, and it's about 2 hours away from where I live now. So it's not that far at all. And so we go back to my mom and dad's about once a month. And it works out really nice.
How's the storms been lately up there? Y'all had any tornado scares?
We did have one, right? Jaime, when was that? You took a picture of it, actually, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it was probably about 2 weeks ago.
weeks.
A little less than 2 weeks.
Does
But yeah,
Iowa get hit more than Illinois, though?
Oh, we were on the show. Remember I told you? I was like, there's a...
I was going to say it was right around the last time I was on.
Okay.
Yeah,
We do. I would say we do, especially in western Iowa. It's a little flatter, but
Or you mean here in Illinois? I think she means in Illinois.
No, I was talking about Iowa because I said
in
who gets
Iowa.
more, Illinois or Iowa?
Oh, okay.
I think it's about the same, but I have a sneaky suspicion we get probably Iowa gets a little bit more. But
Really?
that's not. I am not an expert in weather.
See, and I feel like Iowa gets more, but I'm not an expert. I just for some reason thought they did. I know they had like some really bizarre winds that knocked down some silos last year. Was it last year? A couple of years ago?
Oh,
Yeah,
was that in Iowa?
It was, and then plus you got
Wow.
the Iowa State Cyclones, and so they named themselves after that. So it's so Iowa is divided east-west. So when people think it's really, really flat, they're thinking more west of Des Moines, actually.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Because especially up by Dubuque, up by Wisconsin, it's not. I mean, it is relatively flat, but I just mean it's not. It's not what they're thinking of. They're thinking more of like Nebraska flat. And that would be west of Des Moines. And so east of Des Moines, of course, we are Hawkeye Nation and proud Hawkeyes. And so we have a little bit more hills, a little bit more.
Some rolling hills. Because we drove through, now that I think that, we drove through Iowa when we were on our way to Minnesota.
Okay.
We got a little bit of Iowa, I think. I
So
think we actually stayed in Iowa. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. We stayed the night.
So that you would have driven though through up north, right? I mean, you would have gone through the state from the south to the north to get to Minnesota, right? You got you went through Iowa to get to Minnesota.
Yes.
So
So close to me.
So close, yet so far. Had I been driving, I would have detoured, but I was just glad to be along in a suitcase. I invited myself, if we're being honest. I was like, hey, can I tag along? It's the Final Four, for crying out loud.
Oh, cool.
We have a question.
All right.
Dr. Ben, do you like the smell of rain? What do they call that smell? Petrichor?
I think it is called that. I think, and I love the smell of rain, especially as I'm assuming the question is because of like a note when it comes to fragrance.
Is there any fragrances that have that?
There are many, and especially with if you like the combination of the type of wet soil after a rain. There are many. One, in fact, that I reviewed and had for a while, and it has kind of a cult following. And then there are many that have one thing. One of the ones I like more is the cut grass fragrances.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right, but specifically for rain, absolutely. There are many that have
Can you
the
think of
smell of
one?
rain and or the smell of rain with wet soil.
Wet dirt smell. Oh my God.
Yeah. So those are relatively prevalent.
It says Lubbock went over 180 days without rain. We all got to smell it last night. Sure did. I was trying to stay up, but it just lulled me to sleep last night. The rain. We finally got rain. We were just so grateful for the rain.
Do you like the smell of chocolate rain?
Whoa.
I'm just kind of worried. I'm really worried what that's going to be.
That's been a running thing in the house lately. Here in my house.
Oh, really?
It's a song called Chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Because I'm going to look up. If I'm
I
looking.
don't know that would probably play in y'all's households under normal conditions. Maybe
Doctors or my
both.
oh.
It's an interesting song, so you don't have to.
I will ask
it's a really
Natalia.
long song too, and it's like over 12 years old.
Maybe.
Okay, here it is. By the way, I just wanted to get that for you. The one that I reviewed is called Figment, but it's an amouage, and so it's about $200 minimum bucks a bottle. But that one smells exactly like wet soil. The kind of earthy smell right after a rain, and so people either love it or hate it.
I think it's okay.
I was going to say, I have to say, when I first got the sample, I thought this is not going to be my thing. I like more of the sweeter ones, but it really did grow on me. In fact, I get a lot of comments on that one because it has a very fervent, ardent.
Like when you
following.
wear it, you get a lot of comments.
Like
when you talk about on your show,
it's more talking. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People commenting on the episode that I did, saying that they themselves love it. Oftentimes, though, when it comes to the real original fragrances like that, you don't get as many compliments.
Really?
Spell homage for me. Is it the HOMAGE?
Amouage is it's half, so it's like amour, so it's AMOUAGE.
Okay, put that out there that way everybody can see it.
Okay,
I'm not laughing at you guys at all.
Oh, Debbie is saying, Sandy, what state are you in? I'm in Texas. What, Jamie?
Nothing.
We'll just let him have a moment.
No one believes him. Yeah,
we'll just let him have a moment. Okay, so how was y'all's day? Anything eventful before we jump into it? Do y'all have anything eventful going on today?
I'll start because he's giggling still. I'd like to know what he's giggling about.
I think because I said
it's
homage.
not about y'all at all. 100%. Promise.
Okay, no problem. I don't. Even if you were, I just want to know what it is.
We want to laugh too.
My contract was over yesterday, and so today was day one of vacation, and I did yard work all day.
So you are a little red. Are
Indeed,
you sunburnt?
I am.
I'm working in the yard today. Good Lord.
Yeah. Today was the day that I decided to do it. And Jaime is saying that because we were under a heat advisory.
What's a heat advisory for you guys?
94 degrees for us up here, but it was humid as heck. And mind you, literally just this week, it went from winter to summer.
It did.
On Sunday, we were in cool weather.
Uh-huh.
And then Monday, it hit 89 degrees. So we went from like 60 degrees to 90 in one day.
So you were like, well, that escalated quickly, Mother Nature.
Yeah. Thanks for the 36-hour spring we had.
And then 94 today. And it was like, God darn it, man.
I know, we're like at 100-degree weather, and we've never hit that before, like before summer for sure. And it's crazy.
Yeah, Mother Nature was messing around with us right now.
I don't know if y'all saw my Facebook, but we got a weather alert that sounded like a tornado alert.
You were freaking out.
We were just walking out of the house, and I'm like, well, what's going on? It was like it's a dust storm warning. And I thought, dust storm? Where have y'all freaks been the last 3 months? Where we've been getting dust storms every day, and yet no one has alerted us to these unnecessarily.
Maybe your phone updated, and now it's like the default is to let you know.
Yeah, it sounded like an Amber Alert is what it
I think
sounded
it was
like.
a new setting that just had become available to them. They're like, let's switch this on and we'll see how it works out. And
yeah, let's put in a Death Storm.
And then we had a Death Storm today, but I didn't get an alert. And I thought,
oh, they must have. They saw your post.
The power of social media.
And they turned off. They realized the influencer you are, Sandy.
Exactly.
I'm an influencer.
Yeah,
you're something, all right.
Yeah.
You are.
Under the influence, possibly, but it's about as close as I get.
Okay, so I'm not laughing anymore, and I can tell y'all. So I was laughing because, for whatever reason, I was watching Facebook's called Reels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Short videos,
maybe
like Facebook TikToks.
Yeah,
I was remembering a reel that I watched where the witness for Johnny Depp's trial was talking, and they asked.
Oh no!
He froze on us.
He
What a pivotal moment to freeze on us
while he's telling us what he's laughing about.
I know, that's awful. In the mean, we'll just wait. Hi, Priscilla. Thanks for hopping in here. We haven't seen you in here in a while. And I guess Chon, we're making him sleepy. So sorry about that, Chon. And maybe he'll come back.
I'm working my inner Joe tonight.
Thank you. Okay.
Sorry, guys. I don't know why. That's twice in like less.
I know. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Usually it waits towards the end.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what I have open so I can close everything. So keep going. Anyway, so that's what I was laughing at. I just thought.
Well, we didn't hear it.
Oh.
You literally paused like this.
You froze like this.
Okay.
So everyone was in suspense.
I can't wait to watch the replay. I was remembering a witness that had been called for Johnny Depp during the Depp trial, the defamation trial. And at one point, she's asked a question, and she kind of moves to look at the screen that's in front of her, and she farts. And so people are kind of like, what? And she goes, excuse me, that was me. And then she goes, looks again.
Hey, you know what? Kudos to her, though, for
I wouldn't even have said anything. I would have looked over at the judge and would have been like, girl.
Would not have said anything.
You know what, though? Here was a funny thing, too, was that I remember, so I've been watching about 85% of the trial live and from day one.
Okay.
And I remember when she did that, but going through it, like I didn't have anywhere near the reaction I did until like last week when I saw it for the first time over and over and over again. I was like, oh my God, this is just too much.
And so it just replayed to you just now?
It did. So in the middle of our talking, we were talking about homage, and I was just thinking odors, and I was like, oh man, I wonder if
that's like my fear.
Or not.
Like to recall something like that, like at a funeral. Yes. Like that's my biggest. Like that's a legit fear of mine.
Sure, to get the giggles all of a sudden. Well, actually, since my answer, one of my uncles has, many of them actually, but there's one in particular who's got just his sense of humor makes me laugh so hard that I start crying. Right, and he every once in a while in meetings, I'll think of something that he has said, and that's my worry is that I'll start laughing so hard that I'll just start crying actually during the meeting itself because he comes up with some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I love when I could be around someone like that.
I know.
It's a joy.
My daughter says hi to Sandy. Hi, Daniela. How are you? Y'all are not Sandy. Look at this. Look at Sean. Under the influence.
Lit up tonight.
Yeah.
I would have been like, Tim, your chair is here. I don't know if you remember Tim Harlow. His chair was doing a lot of talking.
Oh my gosh. He said he took that chair out and destroyed it. He's like, I was done with it after that.
It was the funniest thing. His wife passed him a note and said, your chair is making a lot of noise. Like anytime he would squeak while he was on the show.
Yeah.
And so we could hear it. He was
trying hard not to move and not to
do
anything.
It was like rocking and
making was really loud.
Some WD-40 in need before the next episode.
It did. Yeah, it did need it.
So check this out real quick. I want to show off some comic books. Is that okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Let me just show
how many did you get this week?
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
Wait, are these the free ones you got?
I can't even bring those out yet. There's a lot of them. Oh, yeah. This is in that pile, that large pile that was in that giant box.
That you got from Comic Saturday?
Yeah. So look at that one. I like
Batwoman? Batgirl?
Yes, Batgirl. So I'm really digging the covers on some
look
of
at
these.
The thighs
There's
on Batgirl.
There's some artists that have really done some great work on Batgirl recently, and so I'm starting to take notice. And normally I would have never grabbed it. normally.
Oh,
Okay, that's pretty
Can
cool.
you tell? So it's all foil, which is why it's so hard to see.
and
No,
it's
but I like
Superman
Yeah. So it's Superman.
flying
Yeah.
over geese,
So is it geese?
Canadian
Oh, it
geese.
sure is.
I hope it is. It is now.
It sure is.
Or penguins,
And then,
I can't tell, but they're flying.
Right.
There's another
Okay.
Batgirl one.
There's a recurring theme.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is about but I just like the simplicity of the cover. So I'm tied between which one of these I'm going to share for last. So I'll choose this one. But this one, we call this an homage cover because there's a Spider-Man cover that was done almost exactly like this, and it was by Todd McFarlane, who's my
Is
favorite
that Venom?
artist. It is Venom.
I'm having a really hard time like figuring it out, but I think I finally got it.
Well, that's pretty good.
So this one, this one is actually a pretty nice comic. I'll tell you that much. That's about
cool.
all I can say about
Like
that one. It's a nice
how
one.
much? Like enough for like Magic the Gathering and adopt a kid
Enough
with
to-
it.
Was that
It
you I saw
probably-
in the Uber when the Uber car, Jaime?
I don't know how to quantify the number that's placed on it. I don't know what to equate it with. That's real world. Like
Rivian? Like can we purchase a Rivian?
no, not
truck?
there, not there.
Okay.
You could probably take care of 1% of the down payment, maybe. And then this one, I think.
Whoa.
I
Wow.
love it.
This
Yeah.
one was a gem that I didn't realize I had purchased. And when it got here and I opened it, I was like, holy crap, this is absolutely gorgeous.
That is beautiful. That
And
like,
really
again,
is.
and this follows the Batgirl comics. Like, there's just some sort of simplicity to there's not a lot of this junk. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you don't get any
no.
of this, whatever. You get just the art, mainly.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I'm liking about those Batgirls. And so I'm
Me
looking
too.
for ones like these, too, that just has the art on it.
Yeah,
So,
I love it. That
I
one's
really like
beautiful.
this one.
Me
think I'm gonna
too.
put it back there.
Out of all of them, that one might be my favorite. I like that
I
one.
agree.
And my honorable mention might be the silver one, the Canadian geese that
Canadian
might have
geese
been
cover?
penguins.
That's probably the only time that Canadian geese have ever been animated.
You might be right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to go look at all the Howard the Duck and Donald Duck comics and see what they got.
Maybe Jaime will start his own comic book series now with Canadian geese. So
There you go.
Hmm.
If you were
We have
looking
this
for
channel
something.
at Rivian that's called Pigeons of Rivian, and everyone posts pictures up of the different pigeons so pigeons get in the plant. And they're walking around on the plant floor and on tables and everything. And so we call the pigeons Paul. So we call them Paul, and they're like, "Oh, look, Paul's doing some quality check on the end of line, or he's making sure everyone's."
Do y'all
doing what
have
they
like
need
big
to do."
overhead doors, I guess,
I
where
like
they're
that.
able
So-
to come in?
Yeah, so the trucks when they back up to bring the parts, I mean, it's insane, guys. So we have these giant, like Wonka size sheets of aluminum and aluminum steel and things, and then they get unrolled. We call them coils, and then we unroll those suckers out. And this is the area I work in, the stamping area. Imagine just an aluminum foil sheet put down, and then these giant dies. They come stamping them like cutouts. And then they just roll more foil, cut out.
That's
more.
like a How It's Made episode. I don't know
Yes,
what it
I
is
can't
about
wait.
how it's made, but it's very soothing to me, and I love to watch
I'm
that
with
stuff.
you, Sandy. Yes, if I find them on YouTube,
Is
I'll just
that
play it.
your
I'm
YouTube
like,
channel?
oh. What,
No, it's on regular TV.
It's
I've
on
never
regular
seen-
TV. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I just find random videos though. So for me, it's just because I usually watch a lot of like cooking or baking stuff. I'll find like those videos. How do they make the Twinkies, for example? Oh, what was the old? There used to be an old Unwrapped on Food Network, and Mark Summers used to host it. And also the other guy, Mike Rowe, he does.
Yeah.
He would do the
Dirty.
you know,
He does dirty jobs.
he does Dirty Jobs, but then he did another one, How It's Made or America's Made, something like that. And it would be all
okay, I didn't
the
know.
factories in America or wherever, and he'd travel them and you'd see it.
So
Man, those are always great
Mr.
shows.
Mr.
Yeah.
Rogers was my gateway to How It's Made. Like I remember sitting there watching, and he showed how to make crayons and how to make balloons and how to make
Which one's
marbles.
Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers' Friendly Neighborhood. Back when I was like, in
Oh,
kinder. Fred Rogers. Mr.
oh.
Rogers.
Wouldn't you
Mr.
like to
okay.
be my neighbor?
Yes.
Okay,
Won't you
okay.
be my neighbor?
So Jaime, since Sandy said that, let me. In fact, you guys can you see in the private chat if I put a
Oh.
word in there?
Go for it.
Okay, just because I don't want to say it. So she said this. How do you say it?
You want me to say it out loud?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I say it crayons.
You do say crayons. Jaime,
Yes.
Jaime, we need to talk.
Oh, because you in the north, you can't say that no more.
What are you saying?
Those are crayons.
Crayolas?
No, crayons.
Crayons? Oh, I can't do that. I'm from the South. It's got to be crayons.
We do it different in the south.
We do things
Crayons.
with Southern people.
We give it one syllable. Crayons.
Okay, so I'm going to type 1 too here, and you tell us.
What is it? Okay, let me go look.
Yeah.
What
okay.
do you say, Ben?
So I say pecan.
Okay, I say pecan.
We say pecan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And anyone who says it differently is wrong. Just letting you know now.
Because
If
they
you say pecans, we're
pecans, right?
I'm
Yeah.
like,
out. We're not friends.
I'm like, I don't do that in cans.
I think that's the West, right? Like Oregon. I think they say pecans.
So I actually met someone recently when we had to argue because they're from Georgia and they were telling me that's how we say it in the South. And I was like,
Crayons.
is Georgia really the
Crayons.
South?
Is who the south?
Georgia.
Oh yeah.
It
It is the South?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's
They
the
have
East.
sweet tea.
Exactly.
demand.
No, you mean like in terms of like dialects, or do you mean?
Well, because they say pecan also. At least that's what I was told. I'm not from Georgia. So I
don't quote
took
me
the word.
on the West. That is definitely if it could just be maybe. I just know that. So I lived in Kentucky. I know I lived somewhere where they said it, and I did live in Kentucky. So maybe it was not California. So the West Coast.
Hi, Gabriel. We haven't seen you in a hot
Hey,
minute.
Gabe.
Thanks for hopping in here.
Long time. How's Gabe? Tell us how your show's been doing over on LinkedIn. He has a show I don't ever get to watch because I think he's in Eastern, and so when he goes live, I'm still at work. But he has a LinkedIn show for professionals.
Oh, how cool is that?
And that's what I've been wanting us to get on is LinkedIn. But I've been having the most hectic time because I think our show is geared to something like that. Also, I think most of our episodes are.
Well, if I get off, then it would
see.
be more professional. Ben, can you say this?
Yeah, Carrie wants me to say well, as in I am well.
That's
And
how
I
say
think
it,
I think it's to make sure that I don't say will, maybe, right? Because somebody like for
is that what it is, CPJ?
like for example, in Pittsburgh, they instead of saying the Pittsburgh Steelers, they call them what? They call them the Stillers.
No.
Really?
They do, yeah. So instead of maybe that's why, Carrie, you can let us know if that's why you're asking. But
It's kind of like when I hear Worcestershire, right? Worcestershire sauce.
It's the worst sister ever.
And people, I never heard that. But okay.
I like that one
But
better.
I have a family member out east, and she says Worcestershire. And I was like,
Worcestershire.
how do you say washer and dryer? And she goes, the washer and dryer? And
Yes.
I was like, oh.
Warshrags. I've heard
Yes.
people say warshrags.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, my mom can tell you that that's the only way that she would say it, probably.
Really?
At least in my area.
Warshrags?
Yeah, Warshrags or Washington, the state of Washington.
Yeah.
Really?
I wonder where that comes from. Whatever. Seems like you would know that answer, Doc. But
Yeah, it's
no?
so those are called rhoticized vowels, and that means that you had an R like
Rhoticized vowels?
Like
Vowels.
roto-rooter?
Vowels, like
vowels, not consonants, like a.
vowels.
Vowels with a V. Vowels.
Right. I heard you.
And so a rhotic is an R, right? It's an any R sound. So a rhoticized vowel is a vowel that has an R-like quality to it. So let me give you an example. In the East Coast, you typically will hear things like what's the one the politicians will always say? It's not. Give me a second because I'll think. Idea. That's what it is. They'll say idea.
Oh, I've heard that. I have an idea.
So, and so a lot of politicians in the East Coast will even exaggerate that. They will hold on to that as to show that they're
From the East.
They're from the East, but they're not going to change, right? They're gonna speak the common way that they normally do, and so they'll hold on to things like that. And so if in places like Australia and England where they don't pronounce their R's like we do, they will. If it's like if you say things like Asia and Europe, they'll say Asia in Europe.
Huh.
So they'll add an R to kind of, you know.
Okay,
Spice
let's
it
stop
up a
talking
little.
about this. Let's stop talking
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I just had a realization that we need to have Dr. Ben come back on when Joe's here, and we never even talked about his whole.
We have to wait for our
PhD.
Asia friend to be here.
Did you just say
that what-
Asia, did you just say Asia friend?
Is that because that was
No, when I lived in Manchester, let me just go on just a little bit more. When I lived in Manchester, right, I worked for a little while. I lived a month, but I mean, I worked there for a short time in Manchester, England. And so one of my colleagues would always say, Amanda and I will teach that. Right. But because where she was from, she would say Amanda and I would teach that. And I was like, who's Amanda?
Nothing. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. So that's the story with Amanda.
okay. Let me catch up on some of these comments.
Okay, go for it.
So CPJ said yes, how it's made. Micro, love that guy. I love that guy too.
Yeah,
she
I
also
did too.
said crayons.
Crayons.
And let's see, we got to that one.
Got to that
Gabriel says, long time. How are you guys doing? We are doing good. Joe is still on the show, but he's currently on vacay right now. Oh, Priscilla wants you to say the letter W.
W.
Well, okay. W is the letter. The president in 2000 and 2004 is W.
Yes. Colleen says, y'all, sweet tea, so good. Made in Hayden, Alabama. Man, I mean, it's sugar water. Brown
You know what?
sugar
I haven't
water.
had true sweet tea, and I couldn't tell you how long. But
Long time.
my neighbors across the street had their sun tea out in the front yard today, Ben. And you know, with this weather, I was thinking, okay, the weather sucks, but that tea is going to be so good.
Exactly.
Yeah. CPJ says, if you're a rural West Texan, it's whale.
Whale. What's whale? Well,
Well,
oh, whale. Oh my gosh,
Gabriel
like
says, I'll
that.
invite you guys on my LinkedIn show. I'm taking a break in between seasons. Oh, awesome.
man, we
Oh.
get it. You got to take those breaks. If you don't take those breaks, it's easy to get burned out, in my opinion.
You know what was this episode is called "Hanging Without Joe," and then I think Jaime, if you can, you should put in parentheses "whale." Just you know.
Whale.
Whale.
Hanging out.
Whale is out.
Carrie, what we can do for Carrie is we should put hashtag whale.
Whale. We're without Joe today.
I do like that.
So she says, Sandy, like, damn.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Damn. Gabriel, so is that like the long O sound that many Canadians say? Long
Yeah,
O
yep,
sound.
yep. So if you get up near northern Minnesota, northern Michigan, and then of course well into Canada, they'll have a very distinct sound, won't they, with the O's?
See,
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I just know the
I
A.
don't know.
So
Like-
it's
No.
O, right?
A.
It's not so rounded like the one we have. Oh
Like
yeah,
favorite, how they spell O-U.
Oh, listen to him. Say it again.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you be on tonight? Can you be the relief pitcher tonight? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, I know we've talked about Dr. Ben being our cologne guy, but I many times, because he comes on the show, he's so entertaining for us, I forget that he has his PhD in linguistics, which is why he's Dr. Ben whenever I call him Dr. Ben. So for those of you who come in, you don't know Dr. Ben, he's got his PhD in linguistics, which is why I'm like, let's not talk anymore about it. Not in a
Yeah,
bad
so
way.
put some
No, I got
respect
this.
on it.
Yeah,
Wait.
make sure you address him proper.
Joe, no.
Proper.
Anything's fine.
So, you're not like that, Doc. I remember I had a buddy who got his PhD in some obscure subject that there's only 4 jobs in the United States of America for.
Wow.
And as soon as he got that job, I remember I was like, "What's up, Tyler?" And he was like, "Doctor." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And he goes, "Dr. Tyler." I said, "Isn't that what I said, Tyler?" And he was like, "Doctor." And I was like, "I've heard about this."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Okay." And I
Now, was
actually
that right after he got it?
It was immediately after he got it. Graduation was on Saturday,
Okay.
and I saw him on Sunday morning at church, and it was doctor that morning.
So yeah. So what they say is that, and it happened to all of us that I know of, is that for the first couple of months, it does feel good, and then after 3 or 4 months, then it just kind of.
Well, it struck me by surprise. I'm not going to lie, because when my wife got her PhD, so she got her PhD a year after we got married.
Okay.
And nothing. She didn't correct a single person. She didn't tell people to address her like this or that. She was still just.
Well,
I would have slapped some fools.
Well, no, actually, in a social setting, never. Right? I mean,
right.
Even in the first couple months, I mean, you never would say that.
But I think in your professional setting, you should. That makes total sense to me. So for Dr. Tyler to be called doctor in his professional setting, that makes total sense. We were in church.
Total sense, but when you're not, when you're outside of campus, then and
you know what? But I also give props to y'all, because y'all ones who went through the work. You went through 13 years, 12 years of school, college, to get that. I'm okay with it.
I'm like, I went to 12 years of school too.
You sure did, Sandy. And so, but I was like, but being close to someone, that's what kind of threw me off, and I was just kind of like, okay.
So after maybe the first semester, a year, I had the students call me Dr. Schmeiser, and then after that I just went ahead and said self-select. They just, each student will choose what they want to call. I mean, the professor, whatever. Some people prefer first name. I don't mind that.
Oh my gosh, professor. That's awesome. That's what we need. We should start calling Dr. Ben Professor.
No, he's doctor to me.
Professor.
I can't. I just have to put respect on it. He's Dr.
I
Ben.
think Professor is is equally Dr. Professor.
Well, what's funny was when I taught for many summers with native speakers of Spanish. And so I walked in, told them, the introduction to the course. And I said, call me profesor, maestro. I just gave all the possible things in Spanish. And it was funny because they ended up choosing teacher. So they end up teaching like teacher, like the English word. So I was like, how ironic is this? We're in a room of native speakers of Spanish, right? And they're calling me teacher. But
they just wanted to sharp their English, didn't they?
I guess it was a Spanish class though. But
that's funny.
Hey, whatever floats the boat.
Now that you said that, I watched a TikTok, Dr. Ben, and it's a Spanish. It's a school in Mexico, and the teacher is doing. She is doing the drop the Mentos into the Coke. And so, usually the reaction is it's like going to be ginormous. Well, anyway, so they're recording the kids or whatever, their reactions. So it wasn't as explosive as they wanted it to. And one of the kids is like, "What the fuck, maestra?"
Oh my gosh.
The funniest thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Oh gosh.
So now when I put that in our comments, that's where I got it from. He's like, "What the fuck, maestra?"
we need to hashtag that one. And that student had been waiting patiently for that one moment.
For the one moment to use, and he used it in the right context and everything.
Exactly.
Okay, let me catch up on some of these comments.
I was waiting to use this at a different time, but geez.
Yes. Jason Lawrence, thanks for hopping in here.
Hey,
he said, I heard something the other day, made me think of Jamie. Harry Potter is just Star Wars with weaker lightsabers.
I'll buy that one. How about that?
Priscilla says, I say W. I say it differently. W.
Double.
I think she says W.
Maybe it's more on double, like the emphasis on double instead of.
Oh, maybe that shouldn't be a space, right? W. Stop running.
W.
Sorry.
WX. Yeah, because I think that's how we learn in school, like WX.
Oh, yeah. It's not double.
It'd be like W.
W.
I can't remember.
We've given the letter W
a lot of attention.
Right.
This is like Sesame Street. Today's episode was brought to you by the letter W.
You know what? Big Bird's over there like, man, I shouldn't have gone off the air. See what happens?
I should not have gone off.
One time, and we're walking around going like, so do you say Amanda or Amander? Right. Okay, I gotta go.
I say Amanda.
It's too weird.
Colleen says, I buy their tea, but I don't put sugar in it. LOL. Oh, that's she's talking about the one from Hayden, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Sandy, what do they say in Alaska?
Oh God,
we have to get it in one episode.
Okay, you're going to have to help me on that one. I don't get that reference. So
there's a previous episodes where Sandy took her trip to Alaska, and then she came on the show, and she talked about it.
I think it was, we've dropped the name Alaska, the word Alaska, every episode pretty much since I've been back from Alaska.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I hope you had a good time there.
I did. I ran a half marathon while I was in Alaska.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's where those pictures were from. I think because you posted at least one. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Well, congrats on. Was that your first half marathon?
No, it wasn't my first. It was my first there.
Sandy's what we would call like a veteran when it comes to the
I dabble in running. I dabble you in running.
Well, that's
CPJ
awesome.
says the trick to sweet tea is to piano whip the sugar in little by little while it's brewing hot. # Texas Roadhouse. What is piano whip?
Yeah, that's.
Please tell us that. Yeah, me too.
I'm learning a lot.
I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, that doesn't seem right.
I ask people to dress me as Patton, as in general. They don't. Priscilla said, love it, but I'm not sure at what point she said love it because I'm a little behind. Dr. Ben, Sandy is speaker of Spanish. Have you heard her Spanish sigh? Oh, I gasp in Spanish, Dr. Ben.
Oh, okay. Well, can you do it on command, or does it have to be spontaneous?
It has to be spontaneous.
Okay, all right.
Usually Eric has to be driving, and I drop my phone, and then I'm like,
Eric, run into the room real quick. Here in a little bit, Eric, go into the room and just like scare her real fast, and then close it so we can catch it.
That's not usually how it works. We have to be driving, and I don't think I ever gasp for any other reason, and it's not because of his driving.
Cade and Eric have to coordinate it for us. Y'all guys have to coordinate it. Make Cade's got to record and then send it to us so we can throw it on.
Sounds good.
That's funny. Ask Dr. Ben about the textbook he has just written. What?
So,
you holding out?
So I knew she was going to do that. So
look, he's probably going to kill me.
For the record, I'm not, and I appreciate that, Mom. So the reason why I didn't mention it is because you were saying that we were going to wait until Joe's back.
Oh, because it's linguistics.
It's linguistics.
Yeah, so hold on to that. But we do want to.
You want me to hold on?
You're coming back.
Because I feel like there's a whole world that we just don't know about you because we've only ever focused on how cool you are in your cologne.
The ambergris, homage. What is it?
Like I was even talking about you like last week. I was mentioning you to my coworkers. I was like, oh yeah, one of the guys I work with, my trainer. And I was telling him like, well, there's this YouTuber here in town and he does a show on colognes. You've got to check him out. And he's like, what, really? I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound like it may be that fun. When you watch him, it's amazing. And so I gave him your YouTube thing and everything. And I was like, just to check him out. Okay?
I talked to my husband about Dr. Ben, in case y'all are wondering. One night,
the cologne, because of the cologne. Does he wear cologne?
He does, but here's what I was telling him. We were talking about names and how I don't remember anybody's names. I said, but the story that sticks out of my mind is Bench. That's the one that I love to tell everybody. That's my favorite.
You know what? It really is a funny story because, like I said, then what do you do with that the next time you see them, right? And so
you just say that's why you just say doctor. You don't have to worry about.
I just I thought, well, I'll never see her again, right? And then I kept seeing her, and she was like, "Hi, Bench," and it's like, okay, this is really turning. I know I said it last time, but it really is like a Seinfeld / Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. If you if you
the
like
best story ever.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Well, I will throw in a teaser for my mom. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
I will quickly say, so 2 months ago, I turned in my my book, and so right now it's under review, right? So people,
Academic review or editor review?
It's out for review by the editor, so that'd be academic. I mean, it's I don't know who they are. It's out of the editor team. It's out of their hands, right? And so I've done my part, and now I just play the waiting game. And my website is up. That is a supplementary website for the textbook, and I will the next time we chat with Joe, I will go into more detail on that.
What?
Yeah.
Look at
Okay, I have so
you,
many
Doc.
questions already. Okay, I'll just save them for the show. Save them. So CPJ says a piano whip has a smaller gauge wire. It's also great when you have to break down oil and vinegar and make them literally mix. It can happen. Again, hashtag Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
A
I'm
piano whip
still
has a smaller.
perplexed.
Yeah. Sounds
do
like
you
a
whip- do you take
90s
the whip and
college
you
rock
whip the
band.
bottle when it's outside doing its thing,
No.
or do you?
First of all, I think it's like a stirring.
So it's not a
type.
spoon. Then it's a mini whip that goes in the
It's
tea.
a smaller
Or-
gauge wire.
I didn't even know there was a larger gauge wire to put in
Yeah,
tea.
that's what I was going to say.
Well, because y'all aren't from the South. We do it different
I'm
here.
from the South, and I
Oh, by the way, fun fact: Texas Roadhouse was the best food in Anchorage, Alaska, where we went. Just in case.
shot
you're
out.
wondering.
I think I
And-
remember you said that.
And we just, Jaime, isn't that the one? We just got that in the last.
Oh, yep. You're right. In the last
y'all just got
4
one?
months, 4 or 5
Yeah.
months, something like that.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah,
we,
the one
we
that's
have-
over-
we're on the map now.
Yep.
So.
Where Olive Garden is in the same parking.
It's
Same
a
area.
metal
Spot,
whisk.
right?
Yep. A metal whisk.
Or is that the one that's across the street? Because there's two.
No,
different ones.
the one. No, it's right there because the one across the street is the Outback.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think
It's
they're
a
Lubbock,
whisk
Texas
called
over
a
here.
piano whip.
Okay.
Oh,
I bet you have
See,
one.
see what I mean? Doesn't it sound like a 90s college rock indie band? Right, like go
With
watch
metal
Smashing
whisk.
Pumpkins and watch Piano Whip open up for them.
Oh, wait a sec. There's a local band here that
Don't tell me they're called.
it has the word whip in it. What is it called? Oh my gosh.
We'll have to look that
I'll
up.
think of
Go
I'll
to
remember.
Austin. We'll go to Austin and we will watch Piano Whip play live. I would go. That is how esteemed I hold you guys. I would go to Austin, Texas to watch Piano Whip live.
Oh my gosh,
Nice.
Dr. Ben. We went to 6th Street one time. South by Southwest was in town.
Oh,
And we'll just let you know right now. There was 50 cent whiskey shots. It's too much. It's too much for me to say. 50 cent whiskey shots. Freudian. So we went and we heard this legendary band. It was called Don't Feed the Pigs. And they were amazing that night.
Did
Never heard from them again.
I'll check them out. And I love listening to new music, so I'll check it out.
But this was years, Dr. Ben. This was years ago and lots of shots. So they might not have been that epic.
They've probably released like 3 or 4 more albums since then. And
They've probably not even in existence because I've never heard from them again.
Maybe that was the reunion tour.
What is it? Sandy's new boutique called Piano Whip. Whips and Kisses. That's what the band's Whips and Kisses.
Okay.
that sounds cool. Kind of.
They were a cover band, a metal hair band. They were awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense then.
Yeah.
This is in tribute to White Snake, please.
Some Poison and Whitesnake and
White
Motley
Snake.
Crue. Yeah.
Here I go again on my own,
Mm-hmm.
going down the only road I've ever known.
You've ever known.
Like a twister, I was born to walk alone.
Get it, girl. Get it.
Right? Going through some hard times back in the day, in '92.
Man.
Actually, you know what's interesting about that? When he recorded that originally in England years ago, way before he released it here, he says, like a hobo, I was born to walk alone.
Oh,
So
really?
when they redid it, when they
They
redid
had
it,
to
in the
go for
US,
American audiences.
he changed it, and I was like, I don't
That's
know
interesting.
I mean, that's kind of weird, right? That he,
Like a
mean-
twister.
I mean, it kind of goes in line with when you see like movies, for example. There's a lot of movies that go through changes too.
I guess
and
so, but
when they transfer over to different countries, they change lines,
So-
scenes, and all that kind of stuff.
Sandy, you know what? You look later, but I think he says like a drifter. I was born to walk.
Oh,
alone.
probably.
You know,
That
I
sounds
wasn't
like a
gonna call her
twister.
out on
That doesn't
Doc.
sound
I wasn't
right.
gonna call her out on that. Doc.
where you guys are, a twister makes total sense. So maybe when Whitesnake goes to Austin, he changes it to twister.
Probably.
Maybe he
You know
does.
what, Dr. Ben? I am notorious for making up my own lyrics.
No, it's possible. I mean, if he's going to go from hobo to drifter, why not drifter to twister when he goes to Austin?
You're right. It is
It's
Drifter.
possible.
I just said twister because I'm like, twister doesn't even sound right.
I mean,
Okay, hold on. The song with lyrics "Whip It, Whip It Real Good" was the very first video to play on MTV.
Was it really?
Really?
I thought it was Video Killed the.
No, that's
I thought it was-
Devo. No, she sang, but she sang. Was it Carrie?
Gary,
Yeah.
Okay, Carrie is saying that she's referring to the Devo, but I thought wasn't it Video Killed the Radio Star?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because remember, they would play it forever.
Yeah,
It was the only video that they would play for
it was
like
the only video,
hours.
although, I mean,
And then the guy-
no
what was
one
their
can
first-
forget the Devo Whip It video. If you've
No,
seen
no, no.
it,
Yeah.
you
So
can.
definitely not taking that power away. It's a good song. It was a good video, but I don't know that it was the first on TV. But either way, it was.
I thought
on
it was
MTV.
they were called the
days.
Buggles, and I think it was Video Kill. That's what they used to say, but I mean, who knows? I mean,
somebody Google it. Somebody
yeah,
get on their
Google
Googler.
it. Hey Siri,
She said, Carrie said, "Who wants to take me on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?"
not me.
Oh, Debbie, good one. Got twisters on your mind. You're right. It's because we were talking about tornadoes. Oh my gosh.
And actually, since we've got a lot of the ladies on, let me say happy belated Mother's Day to
Happy
all
belated Mother's
the
Day.
moms out there. And
Happy birthday.
aunts, however, connected to Mother's Day. This week, I'm reviewing a perfume in honor of Mother's Day. I'm a little late, and unfortunately, so this room right now smells smells like women's perfume because I'm actually wearing it.
Oh, really?
I wear them.
Is this one that you purchased for
No,
the
it was-
business?
No, this one was a throw-in. It was a sample when I got one sent to me, and in the box that you know they'll usually throw in like 2 or 3 samples.
They sent one to him.
And this one, correct, and this was one of them. So I saved it for this week for Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you.
Did it go? So
Thank you.
is the video going up this soon, or is it already up? Or
It'll come up in 2 days. Yep.
okay,
It'll
gotcha.
be up.
Gotcha.
So I'm a little bit behind, but it's the thought.
Just a little.
Just a little.
And besides, you're just now gonna tackle your honeydew list since you're just got done with
Well,
your
none
contract.
of that, but I mean, it's part of it's because, notice I said that I'm not going to work. Well, it's because I've been wearing women's perfume, all over my house. But I don't like last week. I was going to the office, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to wear.
So this just brilliant just came to my mind, fellas. If you want to cheat and come home smell like women's cologne, you can just say that you review colognes now. Follow me for more life hacks.
Yeah, just say it was a request. It was
Oh
a request
my
from a
gosh.
subscriber. It was a request from a subscriber.
Okay, let me pivot off that real quick. Okay, let me tell you. So it's not a secret that I peruse Reddit for stories and things to sometimes bring up on the show, right?
Uh-huh.
So I wasn't going to bring this up, but now that you're talking about perfumes and cheating, Sandy, now I got to bring it up because it's
Okay,
a tie.
yes.
Let's go
All
with
right.
it.
So there's a Reddit story that I read fairly recently. Here's how it goes. The man, and it's going to be pretty easy where we're going. The man posts to Reddit Tinder or r/Tinder. He asked people in the Tinder subreddit for advice on how to cheat on his pregnant girlfriend, wife, whatever. It's basically his significant other for all intents and purposes. How to cheat successfully on Tinder without his significant other finding out. And the people in that subreddit tore him to pieces. One person in particular was like, if I could find you, I would totally tell your wife. And then he says, wait a minute. Surely not. So the young man, the person ends up doing some internet sleuthing. He goes around, he finds him.
Because his full name is in his username.
What kind of a
Well, doesn't speak very well.
So his full name was in there. So the guy didn't believe him. He didn't. The poster didn't believe the responder, and so then the responder said, "Your wife's name's Ashley, right? And she's 26 or whatever."
Whoa.
So the guy sends him a personal message on Reddit, and he goes, dude, please don't tell her. What are you doing? Don't do that. He goes, I will send you pictures of my penis if you don't show her or don't tell her, please. And the responder was like, huh?
How does that help me any?
What?
He was like, what?
Send
I don't
me
even know if I
hush
understand
money.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Not hush peckers.
Let's see, there's hush puppies.
So the responder puts up another post on Reddit under Tinder, and he's like, or Ask Reddit, and he says, so, which is how I found it because it was under Ask Reddit. He says, should I or should I not tell his wife on this? And so he wants Reddit to give him advice. So later on, he puts up a second post later, and he goes, you know what? I went ahead and just said screw it. Went ahead and told his wife what he was doing and what was going on. And he was actually getting bashed on by people. They're like, wait, so you went to some random person and told them their spouse was cheating on them or thinking about it for what? You didn't even know them or anything else. And I was kind of like, so I want to ask everyone, and I'm going to give you some time to ding in on this, but I want everyone in the comments to. What would your advice have been to this man, and or what is your feeling on strangers or people outside of the family, maybe the marriage, telling the other spouse that their spouse is cheating on them? Kind of a two-part, kind of maybe not, take a side. So you guys get to answer.
Okay, so Tron already came in with a comment.
What do you say?
Mr. Ass.
Actually, ask him. What beer is he drinking tonight?
Right.
Because he had a lot of them up there. So
yeah. Look, my advice would have been that's hearsay.
Object.
We object. So, like, to this guy, I would have been, please just leave your marriage. Please, don't do this to her. She does not deserve that. She does not deserve to be cheated on. She is carrying your child, and you're over here looking to cheat on her. And then to answer the second part of your question, I don't know that I could be the one to tell the wife, just because we don't know if this was like a joke, a bad joke, a poor joke. We don't know if he was sincere to see who would. We don't know what it was.
Yeah, we don't know the backstory.
We don't know the backstory.
Say you knew all that, or maybe you didn't know all that. Say it was just someone in public or in your circles.
If it's in my circle, it's a different story. But we're just talking about a Reddit post. A
Reddit post, yeah, I'd have to agree.
If it was my circle, I would say.
I'm going to take it up a notch. You know someone in your circle who is cheating on their significant other.
I know, and I have proof of it.
Sure. You know 100% without a doubt that a significant other is cheating on their significant other. I'm not saying you're friends with either of them or best friends with either of them, but whatever the situation is, they're in your circle.
I don't know.
And everyone in the comments, I'm interested in what you feel.
I think for me, it would. If I know you say it wouldn't matter for me, if it were my close friend who was, the victim of that, right? And if I knew 110%, maybe I'd be moved just out of. But even then, I don't think I could do like a direct. I'd probably throw in something like, hey, I'm hearing things being bandied about,
Yeah, I'm with you. It has to be someone that I feel like we're unbreakable, like nothing could separate us, because you know good and well that if you tell somebody that your spouse is cheating on you, there's going to be a friendship lost, because that person is going to be like defensive of their marriage or relationship. And because you try to wreck it with your news, I mean, I don't know. That's hard.
Why is it so hard, though?
Here's a scenario, Jaime. For me, like let's say your good friend, and is you're extremely close to him or her, right? And let's say at work, the other person works with you. And so you're hearing all these people talking. And so that's how I would probably go around that and say, listen, I just wanted to let you know, I mean, people are talking. That's about as direct as I don't think I could full on. It's not really my place to do that.
So let's just bring it in super close. Jamie, you find out that I'm cheating on Eric. You have proof that I am. Would you call Eric and tell him?
I would call you and tell you.
Okay, so
I would call you, Sandy, and I'd be like, Sandy.
So then
You're
it does
cheating
matter
on
to
Eric.
you who the person is.
And I'm going to be like, thanks for noticing.
I'm gonna be like, girl,
No,
you need to tell him.
Did you see my Reddit post? Because I just okay, all right. I love that person. He's like, by the way, his next post. What Jaime didn't tell you about the Reddit post was his next post was, I'm thinking about robbing a bank.
What's your best advice?
in Lubbock, Texas, between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. I'll be wearing mirror glasses when I go in. What do you think? What else should I do?
Wear a mask.
Yeah.
And social distance. Yeah, I think it's a lot harder, Jamie, because I would have thought that you were gonna, since you feel very strongly about it, I would have thought that you would have gone directly to Eric and said, "Hey."
So, do you remember some time ago we had an episode we were talking about not exactly this scenario, but we were talking about. I think we were actually talking about cheating, and my response then is still the same now, which is, and kind of where Joe was talking. We were talking about how if someone had said that, it'd be like, "Look, man, you've got like 24 hours to fix your stuff, because if not, I can't hold a secret. I will be telling them because I can't hold a secret, and it's going to come out one way or another because I know how I am, and that's why that sort of thing is going to eat at me." So it would be like, Sandy, you've got to do something. 24 hours. That's all I can hold you to. Love you. Bye. And I'll hang it up, and then I think I would want to be told, as hard as it would be and as ugly as it would be, I would want to be told. And after all the funk is over, there'll be a spot when my emotions calm down and, D-Day has happened and all that other jazz is past. And I'm going to look back and I'm going to remember what happened. And, I can choose to or not to put that on you. But to be honest, you wouldn't deserve it. So, you know what I mean? Like if the roles were reversed, you don't deserve any of my hatred or anger or pain. And maybe even if I gave it to you, I still think at the end of the day, I would be like, I appreciate that you told me.
I still take the indirect, I still think I'd probably go the indirect route and say,
I would probably play like songs, like cheating songs around them.
I can't
That's
do
probably
indirect.
how I would do. Like, rumor has it, I throw in some Adele. and then throw in like, they rented a hotel. Just throw in like little, every time we're together. That'd be the best way to do it. Do what?
Every time we're together. Oh, when
I'm with that person and I know that they're being cheated on. Yes, so I would throw in cheating songs every time, every chance that I could.
Yeah.
There's lots of cheating songs.
So if you would, so you don't find yourself being able to do that with anyone in any circle?
There's a few people that I could.
Would you do it for a family member?
No.
Would you do it for?
Well, it depends on the family member. Because if it's a family member that I'm like, I don't like the girl anyway, I would.
I mean, not only that, but you really need to be 110. That's difficult.
I'm not even calling that part into question. We don't even need to think about.
No, Dr. Ben has to be sure. He has to have
but what
proof.
I'm saying is you do have it. So in my hypothetical, you have that. So that's not even a variable.
Okay.
I'm saying you do have that.
It depended on the person.
I agree with Sandy. If in your scenario, it would depend on the person, and how close I am, because you don't even know if maybe they both know.
And
right?
we're the
that's
fools.
what I'm saying again. If you just know 100%,
like an open relationship, and we don't have any
There's
idea.
nothing about that part. I'm saying you 100% know for whatever reasons, make them up or you know what I mean, fill in the gaps. You know those pieces
my
already.
point is, you don't know that your buddy doesn't know. Maybe he knows already.
Oh, okay.
See my point?
I'm following you.
You don't know that the cheatee has.
all comes down to language.
It
See what I mean?
does. It does.
The cheatee.
I don't know. So CPJ says, let's ask this. If someone outside of your very intimate circle has a rumor of cheating going on, do you think they have heard that rumor? If someone
Too many variables.
outside of your intimate circle has a rumor of cheating going on, do you think that they've heard that rumor?
They mean, so like your friend. So like, let's say at work, the example I gave, like if people are talking, then do you think that person would have caught on?
I'll give you an instance.
You know,
There's a group that we are members of, and we had an idea that a couple of married people were having an affair. We had an idea, but an idea versus facts.
Jaime's not going to accept that, I think.
Right.
Hold on.
Because in my world, I go to Sandy and I say, Sandy, are you having an affair?
Wow.
That's how I am.
I would punch you for talking to me like that.
I still would bring it to you.
Yeah, you are
I
a
wouldn't
daring, you are a
blast it out in
daring
front of the
soul,
group,
Jaime.
but I would be like, Doc, I'm getting the affair vibes. Are you having an affair?
What are affair vibes? Hashtag affair vibes.
I don't know what they are. But you were saying that you had an idea
We have an idea. We had an idea.
I got it. You had an idea.
You have an idea.
That a couple of friends were in that.
But like I said, we didn't have facts. And then two.
That's why I'm saying I would just go to you and be like, hey, are you having an affair? Because I'm getting the affair vibes from you.
If it's your friend, you say, people are talking, bro.
And see, they're
not.
just acquaintances. They're
But what if
occasional,
they're
like,
not?
smile, nod my head at them. Be like, what's up? But they're not like friends. I
Because
wouldn't call them
think about
friends.
it. Think about it. Anyone would want to know. Well, not
Yeah,
everyone.
I would
Most
want to know.
people would want to. Well, hold on. Most
If you
people would
see
want to
Dr.
know.
Pineapples out and about, Doc, you better come to me and be like, bro, I saw your wife having some hand holding with some
And
guy
then he
out
would
there.
not ever
I'm
speak
good.
to you again, Dr. Ben, for telling him that. Guarantee it. Because that's
I
what
just
people.
said what would happen.
That's what angry people do.
You were Sandy projecting again. You were projecting what you would do onto others. Don't mess me in there.
You
I
know,
may not talk to you for a little bit, Doc, because I got to get my house in order.
I told you, doctor.
But
yeah. See, and for those of us old enough, okay, to remember, this is really starting to sound like a Three's Company episode. One of my favorite shows of all time. Okay, so
Dr. Ben,
so imagine.
I remember that.
Do you remember that? So
Yeah.
I was like 2.
so.
that's so messed
But you
up,
do
Sandy.
remember it.
Why
But you
are
do
you
remember.
saying that?
I
And
do.
see, there were many episodes where, like, Jack would see one of them holding hands, right? So he would assume they were cheating, and they were like acting in a skit for a play. So you see, you never.
Wait, what?
See,
Wait,
one time I
that-
held hands with my gay friend. Like, he wanted to hold hands. But I knew that he was gay, so it was fine. So I wasn't worried about rumors getting back to Eric.
I don't think it's fine. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't go around holding hands with some guy that I knew was gay.
That's because you're a dude.
I mean, because you're a guy.
That's because you're a guy. It doesn't work.
I wouldn't go around holding hands with some girl that was gay.
Because it doesn't work like that, you cheater.
Sandy.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Okay,
You guys
here
are
we
on
go.
there.
If you wouldn't leave your child with these people upon your death, keep a fair talk to yourself.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I just got to get a
Okay.
charger.
Okay, no problem.
if you wouldn't leave your child with these people upon your death,
Keep a fair talk
I
to
don't understand. Help
yourself.
me out, Sandy. What is it?
So, in other words, like these people have to be close to you.
Who are these people?
Well, she's saying if you wouldn't leave your child with these people, I guess the people that you're assuming are having an affair, then keep a fair talk to yourself. Like, they have to be that close to you to leave a child, right?
So, like you.
Yeah,
So
like would you
if-
leave
if-
would you, like, something happened to you at your death, would you trust me to raise your kids?
Oh gosh.
Keep a fair talk to yourself then. So, Dr. Ben,
Yeah.
so Carrie said, If you wouldn't leave your child with these people upon your death, keep a fair talk to yourself. So we have deduced that means they have to be close enough to you before you go talking about affairs. And so I asked Jamie, would you let me raise your girls if something happened to you? And he said, oh gosh. So I said, then keep a fair talk to yourself. Worry about yourself.
Worry about yourself. I hear what you're saying. So it's one of those situations where I feel like it's, you could easily apply that's wrong or that's right, but not in this scenario. What I feel like I'm hearing is more like, not that it's wrong, but that you haven't proven why it's not wrong. Does that make sense, kind of?
No, it's none of your business.
Maybe
you
it's
want
not.
you
Maybe
want
it's
to
not.
make it your business.
No. That's what you want to do.
help.
For me, if it was happening to
hear the
me,
tea.
I'd want to be told. So it goes back to like the whole golden rule.
That you think that you want to be told, but I wouldn't want to be told by a stranger. I'd rather found it out myself.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it is, you have an idea. You have an idea that you're being cheated on.
So I'm not. Hold on. I'm saying so. We're not saying if there's cheating going on. I'm saying in my hypothetical, cheating is 100% happening. You're saying that you wouldn't want to find out in any way unless it was you alone finding out?
Yeah. I don't want somebody to come tell me. I'll find out on my own. Because let me tell you this. No offense to anybody here, but in particular, males always get caught cheating because they are bad at it. Females are the ones you should worry about.
YouTube is showing me it kind of works both ways, actually.
Do what?
I think YouTube is showing me that it works both ways.
It does, but males get caught more often, is what I'm trying to tell you.
I don't know that you can quantify that. If I look at YouTube, I see it both ways. I think media has shown men get caught all the time. And I might be, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying YouTube.
I'm a Facebook accredited statistician.
Hey, welcome to the family.
Well then, end of argument, right? I mean,
we're done. There we go.
An argument.
Okay, hold on this one.
Okay.
Jamie, I'm not against you. I just want to know why you feel so passionately about being the one to share this, especially if it's someone you wouldn't leave your children with upon your death. Why do you care? That's what I'm saying.
It goes back to golden rule. If it happens to me, I would want someone to tell me. I don't care where it came from. If it's an unequivocal truth, I want to know so that I'm not continuing being the fool and living in this lie and all this jazz. So that's what it goes back to. It's not about me wanting to insert my whatever into it. It's that if the roles are reversed, I would hope that you tell me whether you're as close to me as Sandy is or as far apart as I'm trying to find a name in the comments. I can't. As far apart as Jason Lawrence is from where I'm at. In either scenario, I would want to be told that it's happening.
But here's the deal. So this speaks to your relationship. You need to be in tune with your relationship. You don't need to be worried about dependent on others to let you know if your wife is cheating.
So the person who's being cheated on, it's not on them. Don't put it on them like that. They didn't ask for someone to cheat on them.
No, they didn't.
That's on the
but
cheaters.
You have to be vigilant in your relationship.
Oh my gosh, Sandy, you're victim blaming now. Now you're saying
I'm good at
the person who's getting. You're good at blaming. Period, not victim blaming. You're good at that. It is not the person who's getting cheated on's fault that they got cheated on under no circumstance.
I didn't say that it was their fault.
I'm just saying. Just now. You
I'm
said
just
that
saying
I
you
should
have
be
to
vigilant.
pay attention. You have to pay attention to your relationship.
That has nothing to do with someone's decision to go out
and that's how you avoid people coming to tell you, hey, you're being cheated on.
Oh my God.
Well, you're the fool for not paying attention.
Oh my God. Now you're just trying to pick a fight with me. That's all you're doing. You see what happens when Joe's not here? Because Joe would have shut this down 11 minutes ago.
I'm not going to shut this down. Absolutely
no,
you're not going to shut
No. On my, like I said, I think I've seen Three's Company and Love, but way too much. And so, can see
He's
a
like, I'm
scenario.
living out my Three's Company questions that I used to have back in the day. This is playing out right now.
So, funny story about Three's Company.
Like Jaime's going to come up to somebody and say, "Hey, listen, I saw your wife holding hands with another guy," and he's going to say, "Oh yeah, they were practicing for the local play. You should show up Friday night." And then you're going to go,
Okay. I'm not gonna. Why would I put my head down?
Okay, so let me tell you of two instances.
All right.
Let me tell you of two instances.
Okay.
I was pregnant with Kate. This was in 2005. Tony was living with me. Tony is my oldest brother, and he lived with me for about 7 years. And I especially needed him when Eric was deployed, so he was always there to help me with the boys. We went to Sonic. I was pregnant. Yes, and I was craving something, I'm sure. And we were in Eric's pickup. It was just me and Tony and Alex. Alex was sitting in the middle. And someone that I know drove by. And I saw him rubberneck and look. And I told Tony, I said, this fool recognized us. I said, I bet you he's going to tell somebody that I'm cheating on Eric. I shit you not. I called it that following weekend. They asked me, "Hey, were you with the guy in Eric's truck?" And I said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was." I said, "Who told you?" And I said the name, and she said, "Yeah, he told me." I said, "Yeah, well, call this guy," without even prompting me, and ask my brother. But yeah, I remember that. So can you imagine you being caught like that and telling somebody, "Hey, she was with another guy," but you just saw a guy in there, but you didn't know who it was?
Yeah.
So I have 4 brothers. So fast forward to another deployment. My brother G was living with me. And we went garage sailing. So again, it's me and the boys and G. And some people that I know from church saw me with my brother in my car get off at this garage sale. They did not speak to me ever again.
Oh, wow.
And all because, and do you know that I wanted so bad for them to see me again with my brother? And of course, it never happened.
Yeah, of course.
And so, yes. And that's why I am telling you, it is none of your business to go tell somebody else, because you have made 2 of the worst assumptions. To tell my husband who's deployed, "Hey, your wife's cheating on you," when she's simply hanging out with 2 of her 4 brothers that she has. So that is why I'm so passionate about mind your business.
Yeah, you're passionate about it. I'm not talking. Those are still different examples than what I'm talking about. But I appreciate you sharing. I appreciate you sharing.
I think Jaime is going to step in. He's going to say then that scenario doesn't apply to what he's talking about. In his hypothetical, it's when somebody knows like 110%.
Right. Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
I mean,
but see, mine went into rumor.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about Rumorville. When I don't know, there's nothing for me to say. When I can't, when there's not whatever, when there's just no way, when it's the opposite of that, when there is 100% accuracy, that's not their dad, that's not their brother, that's not whatever. I saw them full on French kissing out over by the car, grabbing booty, whatever.
But that's how people greet themselves, even though they're relatives. In some states, CPJ, this is funny. Sandy, I have seriously had someone tell Matt that they saw me with another man. The man was my dad.
Well, I mean, they weren't wrong though. You were technically, literally, with another man.
Oh yeah,
that's all you can say.
Well.
See, now, and I go out and eat with my male clients and my female clients. Like, we go out to eat.
Yeah, and my wife sees male, female, and family clients in her practice alone in a room.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine if somebody saw the same person going into your wife's office? Yeah. And then them assuming that they're having an affair, even though it's a therapy client.
You're falling into the other category that I'm
because I've been victim to that category.
And I'm not saying anything on that field.
And it pisses me off.
And I can tell.
Yeah.
But you're not talking about what I'm talking about, Sandy. You're talking about what you're talking about.
He's trying to...
You are over there. I'm over here. I completely 100% agree with you and Carrie. I'm not arguing with y'all in those areas at all. But I'm also not even talking about that. So it's like racking my head here. You're not listening to me talk about.
No, I'm
my
listening to you, but
scenario.
what I'm saying is mind your business.
You've ruffled her
That's fine.
feathers. Is what
I can tell that, but this isn't the first time, Doc. So I'm okay with it.
It's been
I'm
ongoing. It's been all month long.
Hold on. If it's not what are we talking about? Cheating. If it's not about cheating, it's going to be about polyamorous relationships. It's going to be about who's going to win the lawsuit with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah. Well,
should athletes be paid? Should college athletes be paid during the see? Look at it!
And you, so Sandy, you think they should?
I don't think that
no,
they should.
she doesn't.
Oh, you don't think? Okay.
I do though.
I
think 100% agree.
I think it just messes up the game. A lot of these kids are just school shopping at this point. They don't have like school. What am I trying to say?
Spirit?
No, not school spirit. They don't have oh my gosh, what's the loyalty? They don't have loyalty.
Allegiance or loyalty.
Allegiance. You know, you go here for this long and they pay for all of this stuff. You get scholarships, you get food nutrition plans. You already get a lot of things. And then because someone says, oh, on top of that, we're going to add this. I just feel like you should save that for when you go pro. You know, because your talent speaks, and you are going to get paid for
not
that.
only that, but it's the really, really good ones. It's not like they're staying 4 years and getting the degree anyway, right? They're leaving after 1 or 2 years. So
yeah, and that's the thing is like we've invested all of this. Right? We've invested all of this money in scholarships and stuff that could have been to somebody that was going to stay, that was going to graduate.
On. These kids are playing a sport where they potentially could end their chances at going pro, and all for nothing. Well, not nothing. But you're right. No. They do have their scholarships and all whatever perks they get for going to college, playing college football. I'm just saying is the school is already making millions of dollars on them. I definitely believe that those kids should be making it because a lot of those kids, they have stories where they're trying to help out their families. You know, the ones that are trying to go pro, even the ones that are not trying to go pro. Some of them are trying to help out their families, and they should definitely be getting paid for their likenesses.
And they are because the families aren't having it put out a college bill.
They're indirectly being paid because they're on a full ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like, this college is making money off of them playing too, and that part doesn't go to the students.
Well, another way to look at this though is one great thing about the U.S. is if you have a scholarship for a male sport, then you have to have a full ride scholarship for females, even regardless of attendance. So let's say you have a female golf team, and essentially no one shows, right? Like, you know what I mean? No one goes to the tournaments. It's in the stands are empty. I don't know my golf terms, okay, but they don't make money. They take a loss, big time. It doesn't matter. They still give the golf players a full ride, which is good.
Because there's like a lot of these sports that give scholarships but don't have a lot of attendance because you base it on football and basketball. But I mean, there's softball, there's track, there's the chess team, and they win championships all the time. There's the meat judging, especially here in town. I mean, and then soccer doesn't have that high of attendance, and neither does volleyball, neither does women's basketball.
What does that all matter to
what Dr. Ben,
millions on top?
What Dr. Ben just said.
Player? I still don't get it though. Like, how does that? I'm not.
So they're not making money at every sport.
I'm not saying that they are. What I'm saying is, for the sports that are making money off of the broadcasting,
yeah,
like I think that should be distributed too.
But here's my question to you, Jaime: what would you rather have? Let's say it's college football, right? So would you rather have the school give money to the players of just that sport, or would you rather have them take the money, don't give any money besides the full ride, and then distribute those funds to full ride scholarships to other student athletes?
So you're saying that?
So let's say I'm X university, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. If I make $1 million, I'm just using numbers, right?
Sure. Yeah.
If I make $1 million off of football alone, and I take that money, then I can give and dole out full ride scholarships across the board to student athletes in my institution, regardless of sport. If I give my $1 million to certain all the players
Okay.
on the football team, that's great. I've just paid them besides their full ride, but then now there's not going to be funds to give to the swimmers or the golfers or the tennis
It's
players.
one of those situations where I'm like, man, it really sucks, and I wish it could be equal. But to be honest with you, if the players are bringing in the money,
Yeah. No, if that's your view, that's great. That's my point. A lot of people would take your view because they feel like attendance matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
attendance is where the money comes from. And so if they're not making it, yeah, it's like I say, it sucks. I still think the players should get the money because
Sure.
if the pendulum swayed the other way, and it was the ladies' baseball who was making all the money and not the men's baseball, I would still say then the ladies should be getting paid for what they're bringing out.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that would suck for the guys and the guys' baseball teams or football teams. At the same time, I do think that the student athletes should be getting paid for I don't know what you want to call it, but basically for people to see them. I mean, again, the schools are making money off of them. And I hear what you're saying.
Well, let's agree to disagree.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
We need to be respectful of everybody's time. We've already gone over quite a bit. Dr.
Get
Ben.
it, Sandy, ending it. Look at her. When Joe's not around, I know I can rely on Sandy.
Yeah,
yes.
We basically do full-length feature films, don't we? Whenever I'm on,
we sure do.
The relatives are going to blame me because they're going to say I'm the chatterbox. So you make sure you.
No.
You know
Dr.
what?
Ben,
every time I can count on my fingers. Every time Joe hasn't been here, because Sandy and I get into these heated I wouldn't even say arguments.
They're not arguments.
Conversations, passionate
It's
conversations.
banter.
Because I'm not getting angry with her. I do get upset that she doesn't see my way sometimes. Anyway. But what I'm saying is
good luck, brother.
Joe, because Joe never gets into this, and when he does, he's usually on one of our sides. Most of mine, because it's
Joe's
the right
on the
way,
sports side.
Okay, but just to bring this episode full circle, didn't I say I'm working my inner Joe tonight? So you see, I was.
I love it.
I'm Joe.
You're Dr. Ben, okay?
You are better than our Asia friend.
The next time you guys hear someone say "I dear," you will think of this episode. I will be seeing you Monday, right? Yeah.
Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Cool.
I'm excited. Maybe
All
we'll
right.
talk more about you then. Okay.
Yes.
Then.
Then.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for
hold on, let me
tuning
find
in.
mine.
Thanks so much for engaging with us. Dr. Ben, thank you for being on. We always appreciate your banter.
Absolutely.
And everybody have a good night. Have a good weekend. I won't be on tomorrow just because there's not a whole lot going on. Except Dr. Ben did send me an article where a man was burying his wife that he had just strangled, and then he had a heart attack.
It took me a while, Doc, on figuring that one out when Sandy was talking about it, because I was like, wait a minute. Anyway, there was that. Plus, Sandy, I got to listen to like 2 intense psychology
you shared with
reviews.
us?
Yeah, there was the I can't remember either of their names right now. Huh?
Casey Anthony,
Was that who it was? Casey Anthony?
the one that killed her little girl.
Killed her daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there was that one, and then there was another one earlier that I was listening to today. Just for clarification, I am not on the true crime train per se.
He's on the psychology train.
I am on the psychology train, and
Full
see.
speed.
the guy, the panels that I'm listening to who reviewed this stuff from a psychological perspective, absolutely fascinating. It helps me disconnect what they do, and so it's like, okay, so I'm thinking through their mind, and then, but when it's done and I have time to process it, I'm kind of like, oh God, they did that though. Oh, so it catches up, but I do like the psychological aspect.
Yeah, well, if Sandy's got some material there that I sent for the Sandy Talks sheet.
Oh yeah, I
Maybe she
shared
will.
it earlier.
Yeah,
So funny.
it's funny if you appreciate that kind of humor.
Yeah. All right.
You know, I sure did.
We
All
love you
right,
guys.
everybody. Have a good
We'll
night.
see
Love
you Monday.
guys.
Good night.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.